I have received this question many times. Lucas, Kratos is going back to Greece to get the Blade of Olympus to solve the bullshit in Norse mythology, yes or no? In addition, the Blade of Olympus, like other Kratos weapons, they also generate a lot of curiosity. Will Kratos recover some of them? Will he suddenly fetch another one, or he already brought it when he came to Norse mythology, yes or no? Now come on, forget all the other weapons of Kratos, all the other weapons he has ever had, and let's focus on the most powerful of them. Yes, if we analyze the Blade of Olympus, it is the most powerful weapon that Kratos has ever used, and I will explain why. That's because now, with the new revelation that Hades' soul is not in Kratos, in fact, I made a video explaining this new revelation in detail. I will leave a card suggesting this video for you. So that means that it was not through Hades' souls that Kratos became a god again. That changes everything. Hey guys, this is Lucas and you are watching my games channel. Are you alright? We are here for another video of God of War, and get ready that according to the new revelations that we have, there are new facts for a new theory that will blow your head about the return of the Blade of Olympus to Kratos, and now in Norse mythology. Do you remember that theory that I brought here about how Kratos became a god again at the end of the God of War 3, when he sticks the Blade of Olympus in his body and it returns all that power to him again? Part of that power mixes with hope, and that energy is disseminated in the world, remember? With these clarifications about Hades' souls and taking it out of the way, I will prove to you that the Blade of Olympus is capable. It is a weapon capable of absorbing energies, and it can only be used at its maximum power by a god. Remember that when Kratos used the Blade of Olympus, he was no longer a god, unlike when Zeus used and devastated everything with that incredible power that Blade of Olympus has. And detail, we never saw, guys, Kratos using this power. At the beginning of God of War 2, Zeus planted the trap for Kratos through the Blade of Olympus, which sucked all the energy from Kratos, and at that moment, guys, it was a trap. Kratos was no longer a god, and we go through the whole God of War 2 and God of War 3, and we can't go through the portals, because Kratos was no longer a god. We need Hades' souls to be able to pass through them. This proves that at that time, Kratos was no longer a god, because he needed Hades' soul to get through there. And when he is in Norse mythology, we know that Kratos is a god again. So, how did he go back to being a god if in God of War 2 he lost his god powers? Good question. As I told you, I brought the theory of the end of God of War 3, that the Blade of Olympus, when Kratos stuck it in his body, all that energy of a god returned to Kratos and condensed there with hope, guys, that spread to the world, to the Greek world, to rebuild Greece that was being destroyed. It was chaotic with the death of the Greek gods. All this was necessary to explain to you, for us to find out why the blade will now return to Norse mythology, for us to strengthen this theory. As I told you about all the weapons we've seen, the only weapon with lore weight, big story behind, is the Blade of Olympus. This beside the Blade of Chaos. Zeus created it, and guys, it does not belong. It does not exist in Greek mythology. It was a weapon created especially for the game. So if it doesn't exist in Greek mythology, it might as well reach Norse mythology. That's because it's the most powerful weapon Kratos has ever used, guys. We saw Zeus using certain blade powers that we didn't see with Kratos. We saw him devastating entire armies in seconds, and especially a very difficult battle that was the Great War between the gods and the titans. Zeus managed to solve that bullshit there very quickly, just in seconds. Now I ask you the question, guys. Have we ever seen Kratos using this kind of the blade power? No, that's because we know that the Blade of Olympus is capable of absorbing energy. We've seen it absorb the energy of Kratos, the energy of a god that Kratos had, there at the beginning of God of War 2. And another detail, in God of War 2 book, it was explained in more details. In that first battle against the first boss in God of War 2, Kratos had the blade. At certain point in this book, it says that at the moment when Kratos nails the sword in the gears there in the Colossus, he thought the sword would break, but incredible, it absorbed all energy. Kratos' thoughts described in this book, in this God of War 2 book, and also at the end of God of War 2. Remember when we face Zeus and he becomes gigantic? We try to bring him back to human form again, to normal size, to normal human size. When we stick the sword in Zeus' hand, we start absorb energy too. And one more proof of that is at the end of God of War 3, when Zeus is down. We stick the sword in him and Zeus' energy start to enter the sword and go back to him, and Zeus gets up again. And in the case of Kratos himself, as I told you, when he sticks the blade in his belly, in his body, the energy of a god comes back. Now what I think, we didn't see Kratos using the Blade of Olympus at the full power, because at that moment, Kratos wasn't a god. We didn't see him use all those powers that Zeus was able to use, because Zeus is the creator of the weapon. And Zeus, guys, every time he used the Blade of Olympus, he was a god. He is a god. He always was. That theory that the Blade of Olympus only kills titans and the blade do not kill gods. This is why Kratos survived at the end of God of War 3, according to this theory. And because of his curse too. The Blade of Olympus, guys, it was made to kill titans. Titans and other enemies, not Greek gods. Pay attention to what I said, Greek gods. And the Blade of Olympus can indeed kill Norse gods, understood? But Lucas, the blade killed Athena. Yes, but she went to this high existence. And the Blade of Olympus ended the Great War of Greek mythology and can end this Great War of Norse mythology. Kratos just need to come back and catch this weapon. Imagine Kratos using it with all the power it can offer, since he's a god again, understand? And another detail, since the weapon is capable of draining energy, who knows? Kratos will need this weapon to end this great war, change destiny. Do you remember the light of ALFHEIM? How will Kratos manage to absorb the energy of that light? Will it be with the Blade of Olympus? And another detail, we know that the PlayStation 5 is already providing a very fast loading. We saw, for example, in Ratchet & Clank and other games, a quick trip between worlds in an incredible way like never seen before, guys. We believe that God of War Ragnarok will take advantage of this technology. CORY BARLOG has already said he wanted to use this technology on PS4, but the console hardware didn't allow it. So Kratos in God of War Ragnarok will be able to travel quickly across different worlds and realms. And this is great. And cheer, my friends, he traveled in time with some mechanism that we are yet to discover. We believe that Kratos' wife also traveled, since she knew Tyr. Laufey, she made these trips. Kratos will surely use this mechanism to travel to Greece very quickly and finally get the Blade of Olympus, which stayed there at the end of God of War 3. The PS4 game reveals that Tyr traveled to different mythologies. He managed to hide the Tower of Jotunheim, the Kingdom Between Kingdoms, but there was no mention how long these trips took him. And that's the point, guys. With this technology from Tyr, Kratos must return to Greece to get the Blade of Olympus, to be able to drain the light of ALFHEIM, and also use all the power of the blade now that he is a god again, and end the war in Norse mythology. So that's it, guys. What do you think about this theory? I will wait for you in the comments. Don't forget to like to help the channel with another videos, and subscribe for more. There is a lot before God of War Ragnarok. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.